Hello everybody, I'm Elwirfy, and today I actually didn't think I'd be making this video. I just kind of got surprised, I guess you could say, with some new controversy that recently came up that I felt personally like it was important that we talk about. I want to give a huge content warning and just say that this is not a video for kids, for children. Like seriously, like if you're under 18, I don't think you should watch this. But for everyone else, we're just going to essentially just jump straight into it. This is a pretty big deal, and you don't often get this much overwhelming evidence. So this is one of the times when it's very cut and dry who's at fault. I don't have to second guess it. I don't need to question or try and stay unbiased or whatever. I think that the results kind of speak for themselves here. And we can pretty clearly agree that, let's just get into it. So this guy, ImAllexx, he's some famous YouTuber, I guess. I had never heard of him really, but he makes these kind of controversial videos where he talks about other people, kind of like what we're doing. But obviously my channel is more about gaming. His channel is more about just kind of stirring up drama and just garbage. And he has a bunch of other channels as well, and stuff. And this isn't to promote him. This is just to point out that he's a content creator who makes a lot of content on kind of the same stuff. It's pretty, I don't know. I think it's pretty pathetic having multiple channels when you're doing the exact same thing, when you can't even post on your main channel since it's been 2 months since your most recent video. And as you can see, the title of this video was inspired by his video as well. So, what exactly happened? Well, I guess it turned out that this guy was dating his girlfriend for a long time, and he was treating her very badly. So badly, in fact, that she's decided to post an entire Google Doc about the kind of abuse that he has been doing to her. And it's really unfortunate that someone like this, who claims to be on a moral high ground, has decided to, I guess, be inspired by the people that he watches and criticizes, and has decided to put that into his own personal life. And he's essentially dug his own grave, his own actions and behavior. So his ex-girlfriend, Alice, made a big Google Doc, and I wanted to go through it. The whole thing. This is going to be uncensored. This is all just, I don't know. It's hard to watch. But this is the piece of shit that we're talking about today. So obviously there's a trigger warning, and I'm going to read everything. So, and as you can see, lots of people are reading the Google Doc as well. It's very important, and I think it's worth talking about. At least that's my belief. My green screen's being stupid because I want it all to look nice for you guys. All right. Trigger warning. And this is all from Alice, by the way. There's no one else helping her with this. It's all from her. This is a sensitive subject for me. Oh, you know what? Can we make this bigger? I'd like to... No. I want to make this bigger for you guys so you guys can see it. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Now that we're all zoomed in, so you guys should hopefully be able to see the whole document. So she says the trigger warning. Again, I guess the second warning is also important. There's mention of sexual assault, suicide, depression, and assault. This is a sensitive subject for me, as I have struggled to figure out how to put this into words. I've been threatened by Alex to not come out with anything at all and to keep quiet, or he will create a contradicting story to discredit my own, but I am not scared anymore. No matter what is said in response to the statement, I know I've said my piece and I can move on with my life. I made this document as a compilation of my experiences whilst being with Alex, and have put screenshots of these accounts under the corresponding paragraphs. Okay. This will be a long one, as I want to start from the beginning so you understand the full story and heavy burden this has been on me. We had known of each other for years before interacting, and we were seeing each other for a few months before anything was official. We started officially dating on March 17, 2023, giving each other 100% of our attention, time, and effort with no arguments. After that, time passed and small things became huge issues, which were over Discord at first. Alex felt that because I am home all day and work from home, that I would be able to call 24/7 and completely shut out any other social interactions I have with my friends. I'm just going to say right off the bat, any relationship where your partner is trying to keep you from interacting with other people is immediately a red flag, in my opinion, and I think that should be seen as just unsafe. I would just feel unsafe if, like, my wife tried to do that to me, and I would hope my wife would feel unsafe if I tried to do that to her, right? I think that right there is a big issue, for me at least. To avoid that, I invited him into my groups and stopped working as much. These small arguments worsened to the point where he would turn on his camera and start shouting at me on call. He's gone as far as to tell me to self-harm at this point, and after I told him about my history prior, this would be accompanied with multiple horrible messages calling me a whore, a bitch, and slimy. He would also tell me that I caused arguments as an excuse for me to leave him, saying, quote, "I don't know how I ended up with someone like you." Okay, so for the general setup and baseline here, it's essentially as horrible as everything she's setting up. There's no like holding back of stuff. And again, I haven't looked through this document a little bit before reading this to you guys, and this is everything that she's saying here is completely accurate as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, let's dive into the evidence. So for the entire while we look through these, just know that everything in black is going to be Alex and everything in blue is going to be Alice, the girlfriend. So let's get into it. And there's no preamble paragraph. She just wanted to go ahead and show off these text messages first. And he's like, now or no. And she's like, I'm with everyone, but I can leave. And he's like, don't worry, I'll just go to bed. She says, okay. He says, LOL, what a day. I guess everyone has got something better to do. Nobody wants me around. It's class. I love this. I love it. And she's like, wow, really? You'll notice that in her text messages, she's giving short answers, whereas he's talking a lot, you know? I think that already shows the dynamic that they have. Like, you can tell right away. And then she's like, wow, really? After asking for a break, he's like, join. He's like, she said, go on it now. And he's like, join. She called him a child. And then he's just spamming join. So he's just clearly annoying her already. And then she's like, you can't give me 10 minutes to calm down and then talk. And then he's like, I am a mind reader. Or no, he's like, am I a mind reader? You hung up on me before I could say anything. You fucking retard. Haha, you knew. Okay. Stop calling me shit, Alex. How much that pissed me off. Cry. I don't care. I am. Okay, so she's already saying that she's crying because of what he's saying already, because he's calling her a retard. And, you know, of course, it's already bad. And she's like, I am. And he's like, for why? And she said, because I'm in a state. And so she's like, just having trouble. And he's like, okay, well, forget it all then. And she said, I did all I could. No, you literally said. And then he said, if this is the best you had to offer. And she said, I don't know how I ended up with someone like you. She's using caps. She's yelling at him. And then he said, then I guess it's literally it then, considering where I am right now, but you can't do that. Okay. We lose some of the messages, and then it says, and I'm throwing fits. And he's like, idiot, talk. She said, yawn. And he said, you text like a retard, so call me. You say everything wrong on text. And she said, I'll stop then. And he said, because you're fucking stupid, so call me. And she said, nope, I'm not. He's like, yes, you clearly are. And she said, bye. So she's trying to end the conversation, obviously. But then he's spamming her. He's like, bye. Fuck you, weird fucking idiot. You win. Fuck you. And then she's like, understand I didn't call because you're insulting me. And he keeps just saying, fuck you. So a whole lot of nothing there. And she's like, oi, British expression. Please don't be silly over this. I'm just scared of annoying you. So she's even saying that she feels intimidated by him. And he's like, yeah, okay, it's all good, another time. And she's like, you sure? No, like once your work is done, like when you aren't stressed out. And he's like, I was fine with today. I'm nearly done, and I thought you could help with the HelloFresh stuff. But yeah, just do whatever. I said the other day I wanted you to ask me to come over, etc. And if you don't want to today, let's not do it. Kind of the opposite of what I wanted. So let's leave it. I got stuff to do. And she said, I said I want to once your work is done, and I asked if I can after. He said, I'm going back to work now. And she's confused. And he's like, talk later. And she's like, what the fuck? I literally asked you if I can after your work. So clearly from this set, as what I'm getting is that he's obviously not respecting her time and what she's needing, and he's just acting very selfish. All right. Then he said, getting mixed signals here, just like, and she's like, no, she's not giving mixed signals because she's just confused. And he's like, well, I am. You can reread and see why. And then she sends him the message, can I come over when you're done with all your work? Right. Which he had already, if you remember. Where is it? No. Yeah, I said, once your work's done, yeah, if you can come over, yeah. Okay. And then she said, if you don't want to do it today, do today a bit, I'm not being silly. She said, no. And he said, and just because you said that, and then she said, I say I'm scared. And he said, that doesn't mean anything. And then she keeps saying, she was trying to say, I say I'm scared to annoy you while you're working. And then he says, you didn't listen the other day, I guess, when I told you I wanted you to make me feel like I mattered a little more. And then we lose some of the messages. And then he says, LOL, literally the roundabout way of saying, can I not come over today, but putting it in my court, please stop. And then she makes I think a pretty clear statement. She says, can I come over when you aren't working so we don't repeat what yesterday? So obviously she feels, because remember, he's a YouTuber, so his work is making content, making videos, live streaming. So she obviously wants to have private moments in the relationship with him, and he is not willing to respect that, as far as I can tell. And he keeps saying, please stop doing this to me. How about don't come over at all? And it's almost like when I read these text messages, it feels like they aren't like listening to each other as well. Is also what I'm getting from this. And she's like, I don't want to piss you off. And he's like, don't come over. How about don't come over at all? And she's like, what the actual fuck? And he said, that'd be easier, I think. I literally said, I'm scared. Okay. And he's like, this pissed me off, making it my choice over something already arranged. I don't know what he's talking about. He seems really confused. And then she said, you asked me to ask more. I just did, and that's a problem. And he says, then trying to back me into a corner. No, yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. All she's saying is that she wants to interact with him outside of his work, and he's so focused on work that the fact that she doesn't want to do it makes him feel like, I don't know, I guess that she doesn't care. It's kind of weird. He's like, call me. And she's like, funny, man. I just said I understand you. And you said you hate me and goodbye. Have a good day, man. And he gets mad. He's like, stop fucking talking over me. You're unbearable to talk to. I can't cope with it. You got what you wanted. See ya. And she says, I didn't. I wanted reassurance. Got an argument instead. He's like, shut up. Please fuck off. So he's just given up. Clearly, he's not listening to her at all. And she said, I'm annoyed for saying I still want to see you. And that's a good point. You know, it's like, I don't know why he's getting mad about her wanting to spend time with him so long as it's not within work. I mean, me and my wife spend most of our time together, actually all our time together, when I'm not making these videos. So it's kind of weird that he doesn't want to have any personal time with his girlfriend. That just seems odd. And then he's like, permanently, on my God, shut the fuck up. And he can't even type correctly because he's so angry at this point. And then she said, I said to forget this all and let me see you after you said you hate me. And he's like, I hate you genuinely. Like, you set this up. And she's like, stop, Alex, what the fuck? Because he's like going crazy. They keep using the same words. It's hard to tell what's going on. And she's like, no, you didn't. What the actual fuck? And he's like, I don't even want to go with you. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Fuck that. So he's like kind of going crazy. He's kind of just losing it at this point, you know? Like, I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, I don't know why like, obviously he has some sort of mental issue going on, I think. Because I don't understand why. Like, she even says it too. She's like, why the fuck are you being horrible? And he's like, then I tried cheering you up. You said I'm annoying. She says to chill out. I don't know how he's trying to cheer her up. That doesn't make sense. I didn't see any amount of cheering up in the evidence presented. And she's like, chill out. And he's like, literally fuck off. All he's doing is just saying mean things. And she's like, okay, night. And he's like, you annoying C word. I'm not going to say that word. And then she said, I turned off my cam. He said, I don't enjoy talking to you. And she's like, what the fuck? Stop being horrible. He's like, horrible. I'm being dead truthful. And she's like, you can't stop insulting me. One good day, you go home. Truthful? Okay, fine. He's like, ruin it. She's like, goodbye. And he's like, goodbye. Good night, man. Okay. Yeah, so I agree. And we'll read this in a moment. But let's just cut away for a second here. So from what we've seen from the first set of messages is essentially that he doesn't listen to her. He's clearly easily upset, and she's trying to tell him that she feels unsafe and uncomfortable, and he's just not picking it up. I don't know how it's flying over his head, but she's literally constantly saying that she feels scared of upsetting him while he's working, and he seems to think that she doesn't care about him. I don't know how he made this kind of weird mental leap. And the fact that he's constantly screaming at her, using epithets, insulting her, and just overall disrespecting her, it's really concerning that, especially for someone who claims to care so much about being on the moral high ground, it seems weird that all of a sudden, he's in the background, of course, treating his girlfriend absolutely terribly. And that's really rough to see. I don't know how you can make that transition so easily. It's kind of scary, actually. The fact that he's able to very easily go from being on camera to claiming all this, high moral ground, and then in the background he's just throwing insults like it's nothing. That's really concerning, and I think the main takeaway is that she, at this point, was just feeling scared and terrified, and she was looking to him for reassurance and comfort, and all she got was more degradation. Let's move on. And she says, after screaming at me in the calls and disregarding everything I have ever said, he would explain how it's always my fault and that I should apologize, that I should fix it and fight for him after he has made it worse by completely dehumanizing and degrading me. I would get backup threats. I'd get breakup threats because I interacted with my followers' tweets, which I would then apologize for after he made it very clear he was upset, but demands more from me. Okay. This would be followed by him continuing to call me a bitch and threatening I'm going to refollow everyone I unfollowed for you if you're going to be like that, which, by the way, I found later on he was still interacting with many people he had old relations with, and I found him stalking his ex with her old nudes on his phone. Okay, so we're kind of transitioning from the fact that, one, he's constantly insulting her, but two, he's trying to cut her off from other people. Again, like I said at the beginning, that's a huge red flag for me. And now, he's obviously a hypocrite because he's interacting with other people other than her. He's claiming that he wants isolation for just them, but then, of course, that's not actually what is being given. It's kind of a one-way relationship at this point. And you'll notice something that I think no one else has talked about. If you go to the all the way to the beginning messages, at first his name was Alex in her phone, and then she changes the nickname several times. Like that one is Snookums, this one is Munkus. So like what I get from these kind of subtleties is that she, at the very least, if she's coming up with nicknames for him and stuff, to me that it kind of just shows that she like, and she changes it back to Snookums. Like she's clearly still thinking of him in a positive light, even despite all this, which I think just goes to show how manipulative and really horrible his abusive behavior has taken advantage of her genuine need to have a good relationship. I just felt like I should point that out. Anyway, sorry. Let's get back to that. And he's like, I'm done with your stupid ass. It's so fucking weird that you pissed me off and you now mad. And then he's like, that you will die for liking that tweet. And she's like, no, I won't. That's not it. Haha. I don't care about that. I apologize for that. And he said, I'm going to go refollow all the people I unfollowed for you. If you're going to be like that, then it can be like that. And she's like, okay, you keep calling me shit. I'm done. Go follow them. Bye. Okay. And then he rants. He's like, how do you not understand? I hate your and how even now you're on purposely being so dense because I know you know I'm right. You're just being... sorry, I can't... These texts are hard to read. You're just going to be difficult on purpose because it's what you done. I don't know why you make everything hard. You literally just can't sit here and roll over on something so tiny. And she's like, I did. I said sorry. Wasn't that what got us here? It's a good point. She apologized and he is still upset. Even though she's trying to comply, which I think is interesting. And she said, I'm going to link all of the horrible messages that have been said to me. They consist of him calling me unlovable, whore, psycho, constantly calls me sick, telling me he doesn't want to be with me, breaks up with me, then takes it back. Then after all these arguments, he apologizes and love bombs me for forgiveness. For context in regards to me, I have depression and he made it severely worse when he would insult me and make me feel like he doesn't care or love me. I found it hard to stay happy every day dating someone who said these things so easily to me, feeling no remorse or guilt. He just flew past the days like nothing ever happened. This was immensely draining on my side. I don't know if this is just a me thing, so I've been scared to talk about this because I'm worried I won't be easily understood. No, girl, listen. Okay. No. You're fine. You did nothing wrong here. Like, it's okay. I don't know. You did nothing wrong. He's clearly taking advantage of you. Because what he's doing, I assume, because we're only seeing the horrible texts, right? I assume that based on the fact that you're saying he love bombs you in between, is he'll go through like waves, kind of, where there's like, one day, oh, he's mad. Next day, he's like more like in the feel good stage, and then he goes back up to being mad, right? I assume he's kind of all over the place, right? Especially someone like him who seems very selfish and someone who doesn't care about respecting other people. It, to me at least, is very clear that he was doing like this back and forth stuff to kind of excuse his behavior, and that's not okay. So when you say that, when you say that you think no one understands you, look, we do. At least I do. Because, it would be super draining to be insulted every day. Oh my God. Like if in my relationships, like even when I was just dating, or like when I'm now that I'm with my wife, any relationship, if anybody was talking to me like this, it'd be horrible, and I would think it's awful, and I don't know, I would just leave. Like, this isn't good behavior at all, and it shows he's not mature and he's not a good adult, and it's really just disappointing to see overall. Yeah. Okay, and then she says, people will question why I even stayed, and believe me, I wish I could turn back time, but I believed his lies when he apologized to me, and I really tried to believe he would stop going so far if I asked him to. I thought I was good enough for him to stop calling me a whore, or to tell me to die, or threaten to leave in every argument. Yeah, see, this is exactly what I mean. Exactly. Like, it's hard when you're in a relationship like this, where you're getting manipulated, because they're clearly tricking you. her partner, this guy Alex, was clearly tricking her, and I don't know. It's tough to see. So let's get into it. And he's like, it was intentional. I wanted this to happen. The little bit about gluten was genius. And she's like, good night. And he said, you're a freak because even though you know I called you to buy food, even though I called you to buy you your fucking correct food, you hung up on me, talk about grateful. You got a weird way of showing it. And she said, I said thank you multiple times. And he said, but you can't get that through your thick skull, so why hang up on me? And she's like, wow, when I mistake your shitty attitude for being shitty. And she's like, you're being so mean for what? And that's a good point. Sorry, talking a lot. He's like, you have me like 2 seconds because you're a silly C word. And she said, I was sad. I'm going to sound sad. Talk about kicking someone while they're down is a good point. He's getting mad over nothing. He's getting mad over some food. I mean, it seems like anything this guy does upsets him, is what I'm getting from this. And he's like, but you keep talking over me. What are you talking about? What is he going on about? I don't know. And she's like, now you're finding anything to be mad at. Good point. And he's like, so you don't hear shit. And she's like, because you said it was my attitude. And he's like, all right, Alice. Actually, he ignores her. He's like, all right, Alice, if this is what you want, I'm mad at you too. I don't like you. I hate you. And then she says, and this was before I hung up. Is this what you want? Is this what you want? You're making it? And yeah. She's trying to tell him that he's causing the problem here and that there wouldn't be an issue if he would let this shit go. But he can't do it. She's like, what the fuck? And she's like, look at you go, giving me 50. And he's like, I don't care about a previous message that said carry on insulting me. So he doesn't care about insulting her. And she says, I'm not stupid. I do care. And he's like, yes, you are, mate. And she's like, you're so horrible. He's like, you're dumb as fuck. And she's like, no call for you then, too stupid to pick up. And he's like, you deserve it. And then she retaliates like, I'm done with you. I don't. And he's like, I don't actually care. Jesus Christ. He clearly, I think that when he's mad, I think that's the real him. Maybe I'm biased, but I think that's what he really thinks, you know. And she's like, I don't deserve it. Right. And she's trying to stand up for herself like, hey, I don't deserve to be treated this way, you know, because adults, like actual adults who are trying to have a good relationship, communicate with each other when they don't feel comfortable. And she's clearly trying to communicate that, you know. And she's like, I don't deserve it. And he's like, I genuinely think I've completely fallen out of love with you because you simply just don't try. I'm like, what the fuck? And then she's like, you can't even see I made progress while I'm in bad moods. I reassure you, I stop and say thank you. You are so horrible. Wow, I tried so hard. And he's like, was going to say something on call. And she's like, you didn't. And he said, but you keep hanging up. And she's like, leave me alone. I'll get my dad to pick up my things. So this is the part where she's breaking up with him, it sounds like. And he's like, he's like, I think you got what you wanted. And she's like, you got what you wanted. Good point. Very true. And he's like, woman, you are crazy. The fact that he's using woman as an insult kind of says everything we need to know. He's clearly a bit sexist and misogynistic. And I'm probably underselling that, to be honest. And then she said, you said to break up. You wanted it. And he's like, I do. I don't want to be with you. You're too much work. And she's like, I changed and tried. And he's like, and you're stressing me out. Oh, and she says, I changed and tried my best. And he's like, and you're stressing me out. You hung up on me a day after this. Okay. And then she goes on. She says, when I say I changed, this is because Alex had a very big issue when I sounded sad. If I woke up upset after I explained to him that I'm depressed, I had to calmly approach him and watch my tone when I couldn't even get out of bed. I ended up hanging up if he reacts badly and screams at me because I'm fed up with the abusive screaming and I'm tired. Okay. We'll take a moment to breathe. So listen. Fuck. I don't know if I can get through this. So when you have a relationship like this where you're at the point where you being depressed and expressing depression actively upsets your partner more, and the fact that they don't care, and the fact that you're feeling forced to change your behavior because you're depressed, like, I just can't imagine. I mean, obviously I'm watching it live, but I can't imagine someone actually being so, like, just disregarding of someone's feelings and uncaring, and I don't know. It's hard to read because, you know, obviously I feel horrible for her because she's clearly being manipulated by him to make her feel like her being depressed is her fault when he's the one who's honestly causing the depression, I think. And the fact that she's constantly dealing with insults and constantly being made to feel less than, I think, is insane. You'll notice that she doesn't really insult him like directly like he does. He's the only one who's really being aggressive. She's more so just always on the defense, and being constantly on the defense, that'd be super draining. And the fact that now she's hiding the way that she's talking to him and adjusting her speech patterns so that way he doesn't get more upset. I don't know. I would think that would be another clear indicator that he doesn't care, you know? And I'm glad that she finally left him. I'm not even done reading this, but I'm perfectly happy that she left. Good for you. But let's move on, I guess. And he said, and you kept changing the goalposts for no reason. She said you was denying it. He's like, oh, okay. And she said, imagine I say I'm mad and I got this. Fuck off, Alex. And he's like, fuck off. I see, but is this a British expression? I'm sorry. Fuck off. I can't be, I literally conceded because it's fucking pointless. Okay, if you have to say you conceded in an argument, then clearly you haven't conceded, I think. Because it's fucking pointless. But if it's not good enough, then fuck you and fuck off, weird girl. And she's like, you could have said sorry straight away, which is a good point. And he said, oh my God, I did. And she's like, you didn't. You denied it a lot. And he said, as soon as I realized you were being a freak. And she said, you didn't. Hello. And he said, I said sorry. And she's like, wow. And he said, to shut you up. God damn. So he obviously doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like, he just doesn't care. This guy is awful. I was literally asking you questions and you kept going silent. Like, what is that about? You're a fucking moron, mate. Can stay blocked. And she's like, I'm not stupid. Deal with the consequences of being a C word to everyone. And she's like, thanks. Good night. And he's like, now you don't have to leave any calls. Fuck off. And she said, won't ever say I'm sad again. And he's like, won't have to. I won't be listening. And she's like, at all. He's like, I don't. And she said, you just see me as an enemy. That's true. That's a good point. I don't know why he's trying to view his girlfriend like she's bad. I don't know. And he's like, let's leave it there. And she said, I'm not a C word. And he said, I don't know you. We barely know each other. Goodbye. And she's like, what the fuck happened to you? And he said, have you got a mirror? I think that all his YouTube fame got to his head. Because he clearly thinks he's better than her. And from what limited info I know about him, when you are at a certain point in YouTube where you're popular, and I think this is actually a good point. When you're at a certain point in YouTube where you're popular enough that you kind of don't need to worry about money and you're kind of just living a life of luxury, or at the very least when bills are not an issue anymore, you suddenly have a newfound freedom to kind of just do your own thing. And it might, for a lot of people, it can make them feel like they're better than everyone else, or feel like they don't need to be respectful to people because they feel like they're just superior from some stupid God complex, right? So that's why it's part of the reason why I even do this channel is that to help small YouTube creators, but I was trying to stay focused on the fact that it's important to be honest and upfront and real with your audience. And I don't know, sometimes when people blow up, they just lose who they are. And clearly this guy has lost who he is. And I think that the effects of that are like part of the reason why he's created such a horrible relationship with this girl. It's really disappointing what Alice had to go through. It just sucks. She didn't deserve that. Anyway, she said, all I did was say I'm upset. He said, I literally said, and she's like, stop this. Okay, and she's like, no, you shouldn't have listened and not shouted and denied in the beginning. Keep me blocked. You said shitty things. I don't want to talk right now. Sorry, give me space, please. And he said, you are single, like properly, I'm done. And she's like, I wanted 10 minutes. What the fuck? And he's like, seriously, this can't do it. Or sorry. Yeah, that's how he worded it. And she's like, I didn't do anything. And he's like, I can't back it. I know it's hard to read, but I can tell from the way the letters are. It says, I can't back it. Because there's a B and a D. Yeah. And she's like, talk to me later if you still care. You're breaking my heart. Wish you could have just spoke to me with no arguments. I didn't want it to get this big at all. I didn't even want it to be a thing. I got sad my boyfriend raised his voice like it really led to you leaving me. I know I'm blocked. I'm just talking to myself. I'm sorry. Goodbye. I love you a lot. I love you. Fuck. Okay. Let's move on. He said, you can't even fathom it because I knew. And she says, you dumped me, called me stupid, and said I don't deserve better. You're lucky, so lucky. I'm not. I'm so not. Ha 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 ha. She says, bet that's clear what you want then. He's like, yes. He's like, maybe a month ago I would carry this on, but this is like boring the fuck out of me. And she said, it's hard to say sorry and leave it. And he said, there's no compromise to be had. I literally didn't care. And she calls him out. She's like, you can't compromise to save your life. It's very true. And he says, said sorry because I don't care. I don't want to win. I just want you to shut up, frankly. Good Lord, dude. Okay. And then this is, I guess, a text messages on, I think, Discord, I think. I don't use Discord on the phone, so I don't know what Discord on the phone looks like, but I think this is Discord because of the purple here. But this Alex guy, he's like, didn't accept to it. She's like, no. He's like, okay, fuck off, then die. And she's like, you didn't let me talk. He's like, die. Well, die. Yeah. He's like, you're just making it up as you go. She's like, yes, I am. All lies. Sorry, Alex. She's being sarcastic, obviously. And he said, you don't have any grip on this. She said, sorry. I said to leave the game. Good night. He's like, stupid woman, I don't want you. And they called, I guess. He's like, go away. I want to be alone. Oh, she tried to call him. And he didn't pick up. Okay, he's like, I don't have the energy. And she said, I said, what bit? And he said, you clearly have, you win. And she said, the bit where you told me to kill myself, the bit where you said you don't want me, the bit where you call me a dumb whore, what bit? Okay, their texts are a little hard to read, but I don't know. He said, boring, I quit this, you win. She said, I said, thanks. He said, fuck off. I said, thanks. Fuck yourself. You're a difficult little bitch. She said, you're a C word. He said, maybe you should have shut your fucking mouth. And she said, thanks for apologizing. No, I'm good. And he's like, I don't mean it. Wicked. Yeah. She's like, whoa, you're flipping the script. You can't just say you don't mean it out of the blue. You've clearly meant it this whole time. You've been disregarding her. You've been ignoring her feelings. I don't know. Is this not more clear? Got hair in my face. What the heck? This is horrible. And he says, fuck off. I said, thanks. Fuck yourself. You're difficult. Oh, wait. Oops. Sorry. down here. He said, you don't deserve it. Okay. And she's like, bye. And he's like, of course. And then he says, I love you, idiot. Please, though, give me an easy ride. And she's like, the easiest. And he's like, fuck, I feel dreadful. She's like, are you okay? Dumb question. Just thought I'd ask. Sorry. He said, because of the weather. I don't care about earlier. So he's backtracking now. So he's like, okay, now I'm going to just pretend like I'm alive. She's like, still tired? And he's like, so done. No, it's over. And she's like, this is nothing. And he said, we're over. Dude, what the fuck? What? What are you doing? I don't get this guy. He doesn't know what he wants. Clearly, he's so immature. Oh my god. I don't know. She said, this is nothing. He's like, we're over. She said, this is tiny. Really? He's like, I hate talking to you. No understanding at all. And she's like, I do. He's like, no. He's like screaming at her. And she says, I know you have so much. I'm sorry I shouted at you. He's like, let's break up. He's like, no, I want to break up. I don't love you. She's like, really, Munkus? The cute nickname she has for him, I guess. He's like, I want to break up. And she's like, you don't mean that. And he's like, I want to be single so I can deal with my stuff alone. I was trying to get this all done before I went out. And she's like, everything was fine. She's fighting for him at this point. This just goes to show what abuse can really do to you when you're emotionally manipulated to the point that your abuser is actively telling you they don't want to be with you, and you're fighting to be in this bad situation where you're waking up every morning feeling depressed and hating your life. That's what this shit can do. That's why this guy, ImAllexx or whatever, is a fucking piece of shit. Because he's manipulating this poor girl. I don't know. Sorry, this is hard to read. Oh, she said, got to points in arguments where he would poke until I gave a reaction calling me names, until I finally snapped. Whenever I'd react, I would be threatened with a breakup. I don't know. Yeah. He's like, no. And she's like, insulting me. And he's like, you delusional bitch, fuck off. And she said, I said, thanks. I don't know what bit you're saying sorry to. And he's like, you just make it up. And he's like, but thanks. He's like, go away, psycho. And she's like, that happened. Stop being mean. Just stop. And he said, you're the craziest woman I've ever met. Genuinely. And she said, I was sad. And he says, I'd rather just leave it. And she's like, be nice. And he's like, for peace of mind. And she's like, supportive. He's like, no, it's cool. And then she's like, so break up. That's your resolution? He's like, yeah, genuinely. She's like, wow. And he's like, with everything going on. And she's like, bye. Okay, she continues, I changed myself by suppressing my emotions, and that I was not upset over previous arguments because he would get angry and tell me to get over it. He would tell me I said sorry, so you would shut up. These were one-sided narcissistic arguments. Sorry. Telling me my feelings mean nothing and that they were based on a wank, which for Americans, wank is like that. But when he's upset, I get spammed in my messages and 100 insults until I say sorry, no matter who was at fault. He would tell me he can change my life forever, that I need him and that I am nothing without him and what he does for me. He took out anger from his friends on me, telling me I can do everything I want alone without any of you. He's such a narcissist. He's just awful. Like, he just doesn't care about people at all. I don't know. Okay, and then he's like, and what will I do for you? Just take it for granted. I could change. And she's like, I don't at all. And he's like, I could change your life forever. And she's like, I don't at all. I don't want you to. I just want you to be in it. Fucking hell. It's hard to read or, like, fight for this guy. Holy shit. And then he's like, you couldn't do that for me. I can do everything I want alone without any of you. And frankly, because you haven't done what I do. And she's like, I wouldn't. And he's like, it's so easy to sit there and cry it's so easy to sit there like everyone else and cry about it being mean. She's like, okay. And he's like, when you're a jobless freak, imagine trying to teach the R word, like you and my mates how to do this. And she's like, I have a job. And he said, it's fucking annoying. You don't. And she's like, I'm contracted. I have a job. And he's like, no, you don't, man. So is she just dumb? Okay. I know he's stupid, but like, he's being extra stupid, and it makes me worried. Like, how is this guy able to get contracts? Who's sponsoring this fucking loser? All right. And she's like, work-related arguments would be weekly, nearly daily, if I showed signs of being sad over something you said to me. He said, quote, you should be fucking grateful that as someone with this expertise, I actually have tried to talk to you about something like that. And she's like, this was him talking about whether I wanted to stream or make YouTube videos. If the conversation didn't go this way, or I said I didn't want to do a certain thing, he would blow up and get upset because I wouldn't do it his way, and then continue to belittle me. Okay. I would always tell him I'm not with him for work talk. I don't care how much you can help me if all this will do is cause arguments, right? I don't care how successful I can be. He pushed it on me to take his knowledge and make videos with him when all I want is my boyfriend. I only ever wanted something personal and genuine, and I never got that. Like, YouTube is a place where anybody can make their fortune. Anyone can go out and try their best to be better, to be bettering themselves. You know, that's what I strive for, at least, to try and make stuff that people enjoy and that people will be able to get some escapism from, and just make the world a bit better. But like, when you're at a point where the profits are so extreme that now because you see this money, right? This guy Alex wants to profit off of his girlfriend and get her to be in the videos and stream with him and use her for content, essentially. He views her almost like a slave. He views her like someone who he can treat like shit and take advantage of and call names of whatever he feels like, and then he expects her to work with him on his content. What? Like, I don't even with me and my wife does not want to be in my videos. She wants nothing to do with this. And I respect that. I don't let her be on camera. I try not to have her voice in the background. I try and cut her out of as much of my content as possible out of respect for her. Because she means the world to me, and I would never jeopardize my relationship for the sake of this stupid YouTube hobby, right? Like, at the end of the day, I'm doing this for fun, for enjoyment, because this is what I'm passionate about. But it would never I don't rely on YouTube, right? So YouTube is not something that I have to do, if it came between my wife and this, I would stay with my wife, he clearly is viewing it the opposite. He does not give a fuck about her at all. He clearly only cares about his YouTube money and the fact that he's popular. And it's horrible the way that he treats her as if she's someone who is worthless if she's not making content. He doesn't even think that her actual contracted jobs are real jobs. He's delusional. He's actually just crazy, I think, at this point. And that's really... I'm sorry. I don't usually get mad like this, but it's really upsetting and hard to watch. And I'm trying to keep my calm, keep my cool for the sake of you guys, but it's wrong. It's just wrong. It's just tough because essentially I'm just reading out and watching someone treat someone else horribly. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, she says, God, you're so set on me being a C word to you. And he's like, you don't even listen. And she said, I was just sad about it, my God. And he's like, fuck off, Alice. And she's like, okay. And he's like, you should be fucking grateful. And she's like, why? And he's like, someone with the expertise I actually have. And she's like, wow. And he's like, tried to talk to you about something like that. And she's like, no, I didn't. And he's like everyone else. And she said I was sad. I wasn't insulted. And he said, the fucking stupid idiots who think they know better when they're only man. Yeah, the way that they do these texts are annoying. He's like, these stupid fucking idiots. She's like, I'm not a streamer. Good point. And he's like, who think they know better than their only man. And she's like, I wasn't insulted and I'm not everyone else. Fair. And he says, who has actually done it all successfully? Oh my God. Yeah, you think you're hot shit just because you're fucking streaming. That doesn't give you the right to talk to people like this. Okay. And he's like, I was talking about my own work anyway. Can't even do that. I don't know. I'm tired. And she's like, I got upset hearing about Twitch and I didn't even mention it. And he said, and in starting to think of none of you are worth talking to about anything. And he's like, she's like, your own girlfriend? He's like, too small brain. She's like, wow. Yeah, I'd say wow too. That's pretty. He's just calling her stupid again in a different way. And he's like, go do it on your own. I'm just casually talking. She's like, me too. And because it seems like she thinks that he's saying these mean things about other people and not her, or she's trying to convince herself that that's what he's doing when he's not. He's including her in the insults. And he's like, you're annoying. And she's like, you got offended. And he's like, as fuck. And she's like, okay. And he's like, gather that, take it in. She's like, thank you. He's like, I'm telling you, I mean it. And he's like, yeah, got it. Okay. God, this document isn't even halfway done. Holy shit. And she's like, I was telling you how I've always wanted to do it. And she's like, he said, cherry pick my words. And she said, I was going whether I know you or not, like it's a dream of mine. And he said, you know what I was fucking saying, idiot, shut the fuck up. She's like, hey. He's like, you know what I meant. She's like, good night. Wow, fuck me. He's like, so kill yourself, please. I'm going anyway, so come with me. I guess I don't care. You're a shit girlfriend, genuinely bad at it. And she's like, I meant in the sense of I'm not doing this 100%, no stopping me. And he's like, emotional level of a fucking brick. Just say yes, you dumb whore. You're a thick man. I think you're the brick, sir. I think you're the brick. And she said, you're a bad boyfriend calling me a bitch and insulting me every time you get slightly upset. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank God. And then he says goodnight. He can't handle actual insults. The few times she's insulting him, he cowers like a little bitch. He is spineless. He sucks the life out of other people, clearly. Oh my God. Isn't that obvious, isn't it? Oh. Just like he sucks the money out of his viewers, who he tricks into thinking he's a good person. And she's like, I know. And he's like, changes nothing. She's like, I haven't made anything up, okay? And he's like, you were being a C word in large expiration, capitals. And she says, I'm sorry, yes. Ugh, sorry. It's hard to get through this. She's just accepting the insults. Ugh, fuck. And he's like, adding 2 words in. She's like, yes. He's like, makes no difference. She's like, okay. He says the N-word with handshake emojis. And he's like, also, he's white for the record, so this guy's just fucking racist too. And then he's like, too little, too late. And she's like, I'm sorry. Always is too late. He's like, just straight answer the fucking question straight away, Shirley. She's like, yeah, sorry. He's like, with a smile or not? She's like, sure. He's like, I don't care. Done. All right. So, essentially, she's given up, which is fair. And he's like, you could have listened. She's like, I was, and I was sad. I wasn't crying. And he's like, to a genuine master plan for free. She said, yep. And he said, but you just can't. And she's like, no, thank you. I'd rather my boyfriend. And then it kind of cuts off. Okay. He's like, why? My God, man. She's like, okay, you're the worst. You actually can't. She calls him out. She's like, more insults. He's like, stop. And she says nothing. He says, fix up. And she says, you. And he's like, dumb bitch blocking you. And she's like, wow. So she's in shock at this point. She just is surprised entirely by this kind of behavior. And then he's like, so you said wicked. And she said, mentally, you can't. Bye. And he says, you dumb whore. And she says, you only just said that you understood. And he's like, with the literacy of a child. And she's like, shut me down. I said wicked, use your brain. Is wicked a British phrase that I'm not understanding? I might be misunderstanding something. And then he said, you have permanent attitude, never ending. And she's like, I'm done talking, insults more, calls me a whore. I'm done, block me. She should block him. Am I the only one who thinks that? I think she should block him at this point. And keep it blocked too. And he's like, you definitely were giving me a shitty attitude. He's like, yeah, I won't unblock you though, because talking to you. And she's like, if that stops me getting called a dumb whore, yay. And he's like, is like talking to a brick, maybe don't be a dumb whore. She's like, bye. He's like, that'd be like so much cooler, dumb whore. Oh my God. And she's like, I do. And he says, and you just went to moaning. And she's like, I have. No, you was rude. I got offended. He's like, rude? She's like, you offended me. He's like, N-word. That's the truth. She's like, that's it. Okay. He's like, idiot. And she's like, okay. And he said, you didn't understand. And Logan Paul was shit, and we were all shit, but we learned. He's like, yeah. And he's like, tired. I don't know why I explained teabag. I just hate people making it seem like what I'm doing is actually rude, like kill yourself. I just told you how to make 6 figures, so fuck off. It's annoying. She's like, I understand. Imagine telling people how to make six figures on and 3, and it cuts off. And she says, he told me, you're like everyone else. Stupid fucking idiots who think they know better than the only man who's successful and done it all. I said I wanted to stream on Twitch, and he gave me reasons why it wouldn't work out or reasons not to. I got sad because I was planning so much to set up my channel, went to him to be all happy about doing my own thing, and he devalued it and called me small brain. Give me a moment. So, I would jump with joy if my wife wanted to make content. I couldn't imagine a world where I would just shut her down and stop her. You know, if that's something she ever wanted to do, she could, and I would help her get set up. I know how to do all that, and I'd be more than happy to get her rolling and let her do her own thing. He's such a hypocrite because he's saying that he knows how to make all this money, but he won't let her experiment with trying to be a content creator. He won't let her do her own thing. Part of the fun of content creation is screwing up and doing bad. Like, not all my videos do great. Hell, most of my videos do absolutely shitty. But it's okay. We learn, we improve, and ultimately, we just enjoy ourselves. That's the point. And he's gotten to the point where he is not willing to listen to her wants, her needs, her desires. He doesn't care about her goals, her future, and she's somehow still hanging out with this guy. Like, I can't imagine crushing my wife's dream. Like, for example, like, my wife really wants to go to this concert, so I've been doing my best to be really supportive of her, you know, listening to her music, you know, helping her buy the albums that she wants, learning about K-pop stuff, and learning about what a stan is, just all these different things that I'm not familiar with at all, because it's just not my world. But I still try and find that middle ground, and I try and find my own enjoyment from it, which I'll admit I've grown to like. And, you know, you work together. So this is completely backwards thinking. I don't know what's wrong with this guy, this Alex guy, but it's not okay. There's something wrong with him, definitely. And I'm not a doctor trying to diagnose, but I can just feel it. There's something wrong, 100%. Is he an abuser? Absolutely. He's aggressive. He's manipulative. He's a hypocrite. He's egotistical. I mean, the list goes on, right? The list just goes on. And then she says, I don't think I'm good enough. And he's like, sorry. And she's like, to do it. Oh, she's like, I don't think I'm good enough to do it. I think to talk about streaming. And he's like, that's just like how it works. I said anything else, I'd be making it up. Like, what don't you understand? It's not like a magical road. She's like, then I won't bother. Let's drop it. And he's like, with a million choices, or you'd be doing it now, wouldn't you? And she's like, yeah. He's like, so just let me tell you, you do not try. And she's like, please. He's like, you are careless. I would do anything for you. I will. And he says, you get to sleep in all day. I don't. Oh my God. And he's like, and she's like, I want to get my shit together. And he's like, I have to get up and do my shit. He cares more about his work than her. He just does. And he doesn't even post that consistently online. Like, dude, you don't even... Can I just say this right now? Bro, Alex, you don't even post daily. I am a small content creator who posts daily videos. Okay? And I'm poor, right? I work my ass off at a regular job to try and make ends meet to take care of me and my wife. You don't even post daily, dude. How do you sit there and act like you are so fucking busy that you can't even show a little bit of respect for your girlfriend? Like, holy shit, dude. Fuck. I'm gonna end up screaming at the end of this, I swear. And she said, it would help us too. I know. And me. I know it would. That's no doubt. Alex, you're my human. I would go anywhere and everywhere with you. Even in shit, I wouldn't stop standing by your side. Okay. Oh, geez, sweet Jesus. Okay. I haven't even heard your voice in a day, and I miss you like fuck. I'm pretty lost with myself, and it's no doubt it rubs off on us. I really don't mean it to. I struggle even understanding what the point is for me. What do I offer? Why is he with me? I question it all the time, and that has clearly rubbed off without me even realizing, and I don't even want that. And I can offer you more. I can do more. If I didn't think I could, then I would have given up or let you go. But I know I can. I want to. I know I can't not do it. I canceled everything this weekend because I was going to come see you instead. But I know you're working. You have a lot on. But all I want to do right now is be next to you, and I really want to fucking tell you I didn't mean for any of this. I can't even fucking explain how hard I fucking love you. And she's like, I dyed my hair fucking pink if that isn't a cry for help. I know I'm not my best. I know I don't think. I know I need to be better and pick my shit up. I know I need to suck it up and accept not everything is rainbows. Does this mean I can't post this anymore? You mean the world to me and everything to me. All I really want to say about this is that it's really upsetting me that she's fighting for this guy. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay. Back to Alice's narration. Okay, so Alex would tell me he meant it when he said these horrible things to me, but would tell me he didn't mean it after he had calmed down. He told me to shut up and kill yourself after I told him it was a dream of mine to expand to other platforms. Okay. He has called me the N-word after I've said sorry about the situation. I said sorry for telling him my goals and dreams, and he belittled them, all trying to take control of what I wanted to do. When I got sad, he got angry. Quote, you could have listened to me. You could have listened to a master plan for free, he said. He would tell me to die constantly. He told me that he didn't want me, that he could easily replace me. At this point in time, I have broken down to his level. I end up calling him what he is, and I lose all sense of reality. Because how can this be real? This can't be real. He can't mean any of this and still love bomb and stay with me, right? At this point, I'm also scared of starting any argument, so I say sorry excessively. After telling me he isn't mad anymore, he ends up telling me we are over and starting over again. Again, another argument about content creation. He goes, it's easy to sit there like everyone else and cry about it when you're a jobless freak. Imagine trying to teach our words like you and my mates how to do this. I would reply by explaining how he was rude and that I got offended, and he goes on to say, N-word, that's the truth, and kill yourself. I just told you how to make 6 figures, so fuck off. I told him how I don't think I'm good enough to do it, and he would just insult me more. the fact that she is being broken down to a level where she does not want to make content anymore when that's, in her view, the best way to connect with her boyfriend is insane. I can't imagine how he would think that it's a good idea in his own mind to make his girlfriend not want to make content with him when he wants to use her for content. Literally. That's what he wants. Okay. God, we're not even halfway yet. Fuck me. Okay, and he's like, dumb, and she's like, you are, is that you, ho? I don't know what YH means. And he says, you just passed up on genuine knowledge to cry. She's like, threatened to break up with me and call me a bitch. He's like, gay. She's like, good progress. Wow. He's like, because you're infuriating. Just listen. She's like, imagine. Okay. We ended up going on holiday together to Italy in July, and we had an argument about it when he sorry, I can't read. I'm getting flustered. Let me start over. Sorry. We ended up going on holiday together in July, and an argument came about when he was watching a video about a girl being hypersexual after trauma. I opened up to him about my SA and the trauma that I have been through myself. In response to this, he tells me he doesn't want to know what has been done to me by other guys, and I ended up leaving into another room crying. He threatened to leave and get a flight back on his own, taking into account this was only my third time abroad, and he knew it would make me very upset and scared. Like he knew I needed him to be there. And she's like... and she quotes him saying, bringing up weird shit on our first holiday, you ruin every moment. I have no fond memories with you. And then she goes on, I spoke about something I went through and the trauma opening up to him about my experience with SA, and this is how he responded. Okay. He says, 'cause you're fucking weird. She's like, yep, it's you. He's like, bringing up weird shit on our first holiday, ruin every moment. She's like, was you too? He's like, I have no fond memories with you, actually none. She's like, what is the point in this, saying all this? What are you getting from it? And he's like, just moments when you're not being a huge fuck. I think it's saying fuck over there, under there. Okay, he ended up canceling coming to see me on my birthday, or I forgot it, and went to see Star Wars with his friend instead of seeing me. When I told him it was my birthday, he ended up going out after the movie to grab a gift and eventually came to my place at midnight. I spent the whole day waiting for him. He invalidates my feelings after I just got upset about it, tired to justify it by hanging out properly before my birthday came. And she's like, let's properly hang out today. And she's like, I'd love to. And he says, I can only come over super late on Monday, by the way. And she's like, how come? He's like, Star Wars event at 7. Okay. At this time, he was looking to move house, and I helped him. He assumed I was going to move in with him without asking me beforehand. I was brave enough to tell him, I'm scared to move in with you because of how you treat and insult me. Good for you. Can I say that? Good for you. Standing up for yourself. Very good. And begged him to stop doing it, and that he had to change. I ended up calling him what he is and standing up for myself. No, it isn't pretty. Hey, you do you. This guy's being a piece of shit, and you've done nothing but bend over backwards for him. Any insults you throw at him, I think are justified, deserved, and honestly warranted. And then she's like, cancel the date, find your own house, preferably a smaller one away from me. And he's like, I'm tired of fucking life lessons. You ain't got fuck all real shit on. And she's like, if you can't apologize, block me, leave me. He's like, I got more important shit than your feelings. And she's like, you can't apologize or stop insulting me, go away. And he said, especially when your feelings are based on absolute wank. Yeah, okay. And she's like, tells me enough, goodbye, Alex. And then she's like, wank, you insulting me? He's like, keep pushing, you lost. And she's like, is wank? And he's like, just accept it. And is you insulting me wank? Do I not know what this British word is? I thought it meant, but I don't. Maybe there's another version of it as well. I don't know. And then he's like, that you were being a dumb woman, and move on and go, how can I actually help you? And she's like, wow. And he's like, instead of being a burden, be useful. Okay. he's like, all my plans, push my videos back. And she's like, stop moaning. And he's like, to accommodate you, offer to bring you a headset. She's like, sort your head out. Ooh, good. And he's like, and then you start going on about how you're scared to move, just die in a fucking hole. Jesus, that's exactly why she didn't want to move in with you. You idiot. And he's like, and she's like, with you, a C word. And he said, you sad little C word. And she said, who does this? Will do. You had to reassure me. He's like, ooh, my feelings. And she said that it'll be okay. He's like, yeah, I heard you the first 10 times. I hate you. And she said, you wasn't. He said, hate. And he fucking slams his keyboard. So imagine this. He's like typing like, oh, I hate you. Oh, and he spams the keyboard. Like, what the fuck? What's wrong with this guy? But you get so angry you're just going to spam type on your phone? Jesus. You're just proving the point. And like, she's like, you got mad straight away. Didn't let me talk. Didn't listen to me. And he's like, please hurry yourself in the fucking garden. And she's like, you're a child. Very true. And he's like, you were like this when we first met. And she's like, already, likewise, you sold me a dream and then saw how much of a loser C-word Then I saw how much of a loser C-word you was. And he's like, I'll be fine without you. And she's like, to everyone around you. He said, you're nothing without me. She's like, including me, Lamau. Wow, how controlling and toxic and grim. Oh, very true. And he's like, don't worry. She's like, okay, bye. And he said, I'd save a lot of money having to carry you around. And she's like, you don't need to talk anymore. It's done. Stop moaning. And he's like, fuck our anniversary. And she's like, I got it. And he said, we didn't make it. I'll take someone else out next week. And she's like, you fucked it. And she's like, wow. But now you can fuck yourself, to be honest. And he said, you have to stop and learn to shut up. And she said, being a C to me, fuck off. And she's totally justified here, by the way. I'm fine with everything she's doing. No problem at all. And he's like, start working, get a hobby, for the love of God, fighting people in the comments. And she said, he talks to his girlfriend so sweet. Fucking calling him out. Nice. And he said, is low life behavior. And she said, he's so domestic, is adorable. Oh my God. And he said, because you had to make it this. And she said, look how abusive and C-word he is. And he said, because you're a melt. Oh boy. He proceeds to tell me to die in a hole. You sad little C-word. After all I asked for was reinsurance. He said, fuck our anniversary. Take someone else next week. You're not moving in with me. I don't want you. I put up with you. Please bury yourself in the fucking garden. Die. Just fucking die in a hole. You dumb C-word. I called him abusive, and then he calls me a melt. I told him I was going to bed, having not had any previous argument, and this started a clash because I said in a, quote, bad tone, he goes, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to break your neck. Okay. There's a lot. I can't stop at everything. We got to get through this. That's on you. She said, I said I'm going to bed. Those words exactly. He said, how did you say it, you thick C-word? And she said, I'm going to bed. Thanks. Oh, wait, is that it? And he said, stop pretending to be stupid. He's like, an insult. Well, he's like, blocked. And she said, looks like my time is done. Bye. Because you're insulting me constantly, dumbass. Get a head check. And he's like, because you decided to pretend I made it up? What the fuck? And she's like, no, made what up? And he said, oh my God, I'm going to fucking kill you. And she said, I admitted what I did. I said sorry for my tone. That's not abusive at all. But is it true? And he said, I'm going to break your neck. This... Okay. Again, this is over my tone being low because I was previously sad. I'd apologized over call and it wasn't enough. Okay. He said, I'm very sorry about yesterday, and I know I crossed the line when I was angry. It wasn't right to do, no matter how mad I am, and I'm sorry I went that far. She said, after that argument, the same month is when we moved. You still moved in with him? Oh my God. You moved in with this guy. After all this shit, you actually still moved in with him? What the fuck? What? Okay. After that argument, the same month we moved in together. This is when things got more real for me, and I decided and I started noting things down, recording and texting my mom. Okay. Let's see. Everything is fine now, apparently. I don't know. And her mom's like, "Hi, love. How are things? Miss you." And then she comes out to her mom and she says, "Things are fine then bad. When I say fine, I mean I've not forgiven or feeling better, but I'll move in so he stops complaining and being mad that I'm upset from his actions. I've never wanted to leave someone so badly or come home so badly. I can't stop holding back tears whenever I think of coming home away from this hellhole. I'm literally on the brink of a breakdown. Whenever I see you and Dad, I just want to be home. Alongside that, I can't believe I've been putting up with someone like this with no morals or human emotions. And he scares the shit out of me. If I say on the... It's hard to read that. He will argue. And I don't want to live with a guy where I have to suffer in silence or be quiet. That's literally hell. He wants a little minion to love and need him. He tells me I need him. He is Satan." And then her mom's like, "He needs you to need him? Fuck off. This isn't... it isn't 1935. Very true. Classy response, Mom. Very cool." And she said, "And he broke my glasses the last argument for no reason and hid them." And her mom's like, "Oh my God, that's psycho." No shit, he's fucking psycho. And she said, "He was gaslighting until I react. When I do, he will call me crazy like he didn't just scream at my face for an hour." We had the worst arguments I've ever experienced with anyone, but after the move, it became even worse. On our 4th day of living together, on the 19th of October, he had taken it to the next level and got physical in a fight. It started as a screaming argument where I begged him to leave me alone or just stop. I ended up trying to get away from him, and he followed me. I went to walk downstairs, and he grabbed my hood and pulled me back until I fell on the floor. He told me that I was not getting away, so I got up and made a run for the bathroom. He gets in my way and grabs me, puts me in a headlock, and covers my mouth because I'm screaming for him to get off me. I go to the bathroom and locked it behind me, and he screams from the other side, calling me crazy, telling me to leave the house after I've asked him to leave me alone. Okay. I need a breather. Okay. I think things are getting worse. Yeah. I've never been in a situation like this before, and I'm not going to say some bullshit about, like, what I would do. Especially for something like this. I can only express how sorry I am that this happened. And I know you're not watching, Alice, but if you were, just know that here in America, we don't tolerate that kind of shit. I would hope nobody does anywhere in the world. And I don't know. The fact that after something like that, he still manipulated you into staying with him is fucked on so many levels. Like, I don't know. The mistreatment, just everything. I don't know. Sorry, I'm at a loss for words. It's hard. I guess I'm glad that you felt comfortable enough to post this online. I'm glad that this guy is being exposed, and I think I need to end the video here. We're not done yet. I'll probably make another video about this, going through the document. But I just need a moment. So I apologize if you wanted to see the rest of it. The rest of this document will be gone over in the next video. I'm sorry this is such a letdown. I don't know. If you made it this far to the end, just know that I appreciate you for sticking with me. This has been a fucking roller coaster, and I don't know what to say, guys. It's just hard. So I'm gonna go now. God, I can't even do a fucking outro. I'm just too upset. Okay, I'll just do it quickly. Go watch my videos, subscribe, whatever, all that bullshit. I can't be positive after this. Bye.